The Wii U. Nintendo's worst selling console that they supported for more than a year, not including the Virtual Boy. Does that even count as a main console? We got great games such as Super Mario 3D World, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Wii U and Super Mario Maker, but we also got some pretty awful games such as Meme Run. No, I'm not kidding. There was actually a game for the Wii U called Meme Run. We'll get to it later. It's a travesty. The Wii U had the worst possible name ever for a video game console, with people thinking it was an addition for the Nintendo Wii, because, you know, Wii Fit, Wii Sports, Wii U, kinda fits. And not only that, the game covers ripped off the little circle thing at the top of GameCube covers, and that wasn't a successful console. Why would they do that again? Credit to Scott the Woz for that joke. I always had so much fun with the Wii U, as it was the first console that I remember when the Wii U came out and when the Wii U ended. For the record, I had a Wii, and I played GameCube games on that Wii as well. Way before the Wii U existed. I'm not that young. The Wii U left me with so many memories of sitting on the couch playing Super Mario 3D World with friends, or making levels in Super Mario Maker for friends to play. I always had so much fun playing the Wii U. I cherish my memories with this console. So why don't I tell you about those memories after you press that subscribe button and press the join button to get behind the scenes and Yeah, this is a weird one to start off with. I've had this game sitting on my Wii U for so long without even touching the game, because I thought it was really cool that a YouTuber had a game I could buy on their eShop. Rest its soul. So I thought that today I might try the very first level. So why don't I? The game opens with the story screen similar to the games on the NES like Mega Man, then chucking you right into the game. Like literally, the nerd gets sucked into the game. Like, he's literally chucked into the game. It has so many references to the Angry Video Game Nerd series on YouTube, but once we actually play the game and disregard all of these references, we can see the game in its true nature. First off, we have this annoying Navi-like fairy following us all the time, like from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which, you know, was the normal thing to make fun of in that game if you're a game reviewer. We have the nerd holding an NES blaster, and every single goddamn time you die, you have the nerds saying some really stupid goddamn joke. Fantastic level design. I assume the point of this game was to make people angry, because it made me angry. This game just has so many stupid platforming things, like having one single block to... Yeah, I didn't like some of the platforming in this game, but I hope that was the point. I really hope that was the point. Yeah, the game starts off with a gun, but you don't even use it until a little bit further on in the level. Like, what was the point of the gun? They should have made the gun like a power-up that you get halfway through the level. So you're not introduced to the gun at the start, but you can't actually use it. But whatever. And in the goddamn first level, we have disappearing blocks, we have new enemies, we have, like, spikes, we have beer that give you health. Like, what? We have random death blocks that kill you for no reason, and you can't, like, shoot or anything. They're just there and they kill you. We have random power-ups that are basically just cheats. This game is a mess, but I hope it's in all the best ways possible. Of course, I died like 100 times in this game. I mean, what the hell else was I supposed to do? Complete it in one try? That's impossible. Look, I don't really have that much to say about this game, as I don't have that many memories with the game past my one single play session when I recorded that part of the video. But the game was well put together, and was a rare example of a YouTuber game being done right. I'm looking at you, PewDiePie. Talking about Legend of the Brofist, not Tuber Simulator. By the way, that's a joke. I must say, the end of the level being an 8-bit mix of the intro song to AVGN was really cool, so shout out to this game. However, we haven't even gotten started on the best games on this console. Ducktales Remastered. Doesn't that title screen want to make you sing along? Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes, it's a dark blur. Might solve a mystery, or rewrite history. Ducktales. Every day they're out there making Ducktales. Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. The danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do, just grab onto some Ducktales. Every day they're out there making Ducktales. Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. No ponytails or cotton tails, no Ducktales. I do not know what came over me. My story of Ducktales Remastered is very interesting. So I own a hacked Wii U. I have my normal Wii U, and then I have the hacked one that I got just in case I was to break it while hacking. So like a little backup, but not really. You know what I mean. I first got DuckTales on that hacked Wii U, and I played through the whole thing, and oh my god, I loved it. I stayed up for hours playing through the whole entire game in one sitting. Each level was incredible, going from land to land, finding all the secrets in each area. The story in each area was fantastic as well, and it reminded me of games from the past, which this game actually is. See, this game is a remaster of the NES game DuckTales, with this re-release coming out in 2013. This game truly took the original game and just made magic out of it. The voice acting is a bit odd in places, but come on, this game just looks incredible. I mean, look at that art style, it just looks really good. And the remastered music in this game is amazing. I remember just being so enthralled with the look and feel of this game. I'd never had that much fun with a platformer that wasn't a Mario game. It just had this magical feeling, I don't know how to describe it. So while recording for this video, I just knew that I had to play my favorite level from the entire game, the moon. You've probably heard the theme from this level before. Take a listen. That's the original version of this piece from the original NES game. It's often used comedically, but this music is the basis for some of the best covers on all of YouTube. I hope you don't mind me nerding out about the moon theme for a second. The moon theme on YouTube just has so many goddamn covers! I've looked through so many and have just been amazed by what people can create from this song. There's rock covers, sad covers, big band covers, orchestral covers, pretty much anything you can think of, there's a moon theme cover of it. The moon theme has a basic melody that pretty much can just be remade into anything using any instrument. Let's take a look at the 8-bit big band's cover, as it's my personal favourite version of the song. If you've ever listened to some of the 8-bit big band's music, you'll know how fantastic they are. They turned this very basic tune from an NES game into a song that seems like it's almost straight out of Mario Kart 8. But, you know, we'll get on to Mario Kart 8 later. The energy in this cover just goes unmatched. It has this magical feeling that I was talking about earlier in the actual game itself. It's this wonderful piece of work I truly feel needs more attention than it already has. But as I said, there are so many covers of the moon theme on YouTube. So just search up moon theme cover and you'll be blown away by the musical talent you find on YouTube. Keep it up, creators! Of course, in DuckTales Remastered, they also have their own version of the tune. It's also got that magical feeling that I was talking about in the game itself. It fits very well into the game, and more than you actually think it would. It doesn't turn the song into something that it isn't. It's still the original piece that was made for the NES, but it just has more instruments, and it really adds something to the music, and having a full orchestra backing the basic chiptune music is something that I feel like goes really underappreciated when looking at DuckTales Remastered. And that's the same for every single song in this soundtrack. It's not just the moon theme from DuckTales Remastered, it's every single piece of music has this feeling. Just imagine listening to it while you're running or while you're doing anything really. It probably just makes you so hyped. Heck, I'm listening to it while writing this very script. I could just keep talking about the moon theme, honestly, I could. I've probably cut out half the section because of how much I just talk about the theme, but I really want to get the point across that this theme is incredible. Have you ever heard of Disney magic? Well, this is it in full force. Truly brings a tear to my eye. Thank you, Internet. And thank you, Ducktales. But my god, we haven't actually talked about the level yet. We've just talking about the music. You start the level, of course it's on the moon, trying to find a friend that was taken. I had fun just jumping around as Scrooge McDuck, jumping from enemy to enemy. It's honestly the best way you can transport yourself in this game. There's this big ship that takes your friend, and now you have to find him alongside pieces of Gizmo Duck's suit, which I think Gizmo Duck is the friend. I wasn't really paying attention, but yeah. You climb further and further into the ship to find more and more gems to add to your money count, and you rescue your friend. You defy all laws of gravity saving Fenton, and then continue to bounce around killing enemies and climbing up the ship. Bouncing around in the ship does take away from the fact that this level does happen to take place on the moon, and it just makes it feel like any other generic level, and specifically reminds me of Flying Battery Zone from Sonic 3. But there are so many platforming tricks in this level that I think make it all worthwhile. I actually took inspiration from this game when creating my own game. The Journey. Having the ability to jump on spikes if you use a certain move is such a unique way of platforming, and having momentum-based platforming, I think, is just really cool, so I wanted to do the same thing. There's actually one section while collecting one of the pieces of the suit that is honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen. At one point you climb to the top of the ship and bounce off enemies in the middle of space, with bright stars in the background, bouncing from spike to spike to get one of the pieces. And it was yet again one of those magical sections in the level that I was talking about earlier, with the music pulling you into the level, with the bright stars in the background really helping you realize that you are literally in the middle of space, just above the moon. Now, one of the annoying things about this level is that if you die, the music just restarts from the beginning. But, you know, it's still a fun level all around. The level doesn't really make it obvious where you're supposed to go, but my god, look at the earth in the background, doesn't that look incredible? Doesn't that distract you from whatever you're looking for? Isn't this level just amazing? Anyway, after collecting all of Gizmo Duck's pieces, I eventually got Gizmo Duck to help me to get under the moon. This is where I think the level starts to get a bit repetitive. The underground of the moon is basically just the same as the ship of the moon, but instead of going up, you're going down. There's nothing really to add. Then at the end of that, you fight a boss where they replace the music with the most basic piece of music ever written for a boss fight in any video game ever. But, you know, you're still on the moon, so it's kind of cool. You make it home from the moon. As I said before, when playing through all of Ducktales Remastered, you realize how magical this game truly is. There's a certain beauty to this game, even if it's really difficult. I'd love to fully play through this game, and it really helps you when you get quips from Scrooge McDuck that are actually funny.
It's like running from the IRS.
God, this game is good. I wish they'd recreate the second DuckTales from the NES. I really need to play the other Disney games too. Did you know that the Wii U has a virtual console? You can play many games like Super Mario Bros. 3. Isn't that fun? Well, Nintendo took advantage of this and created NES Remix and NES Remix 2. Isn't that fun? Basically, NES Remix is a bunch of challenges put into the original NES games, made for the modern era. It was amazing. Both games are great, and obviously, of course, the 3DS version is also great, because it's just the same thing. I remember when this game first came out, I went to a store that was basically a Nintendo store, and they had this Wii U set up with the game on, and oh my god, that game was so much fun. I mean, that entire store was fun, but it doesn't exist anymore, so rest in peace. NES Remix is such a good idea for a game. It really shows that if Nintendo tried hard enough, they could create something with their old games and put it on modern platforms, which they kind of did with Super Mario Bros. 35, but that's definitely a story for another day. NES Remix truly reinvents the classic Nintendo NES games, and I truly think they need to do more stuff like this, whether it be SNES Remix, Nintendo 64 Remix, I don't know, whatever they want to do, but just please do it again. New Super Mario Bros. U, the fourth in the new series, the second in 2012. Unlike the general population, I was a fan of the new games. It's a series that was released when I was younger, and I loved it. And with 2 games coming out in 2012, it's gonna be double as good. When I eventually got my Wii U, this was one of the first games I ever got for the platform. It was incredible, but I didn't play it as much as New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I think at the time, I was starting to play Minecraft a lot more, and creating epic videos like Super Mario Galaxy MC Part 1. This game I never really easily completed. I'd left it for a long time and didn't even bother to use Super Guide to complete this game, which is what you use to make Luigi beat the level for you. But every once in a while, I'd pop in this game and give it another shot. World 3 was my mortal enemy. I could never get past World 3 no matter what I tried. I don't know why I found it so hard, but I did. That's pretty stupid considering the new series is known for being one of the easiest series in all of Mario. But in 2013, I found it to be a bit of a challenge. This game to me was the crowning jewel of the Wii U. It was also the only Mario game at the time on the Wii U, so of course it was the crowning jewel. But this series of games really meant a lot to me, and it's what got me into Mario in the first place. And now I pretty much own every single mainline Mario game and collect games all the time. In another video I said that Mario was my passion. It was more like my life. And this game, among other games in the Wii and Wii U era, truly show that. The first level of New Super Mario Bros. U is so iconic to me, yet somehow on my main playthrough on the game, I never got the second star coin in the level. But whatever. The new squirrel power-up was also all the hype back then. See, almost every new Mario game would add a new power-up that's based on an animal, and that was always fun, and this game was no different. This power-up was similar to the cape from Super Mario World in the sense that you have a cape, but you also stick to walls for a certain amount of time, which seems similar to a power-up that we'll be talking about later in this video. Of course, the art style of these games does get a bit old after a while. That's a very common complaint. I get it. If these games are a little bit more spaced out, people would have really seen the joy that are these games. The game's new gimmick was basically the power-up, as well as the final world actually takes place at Princess Peach's castle, which I think is a really cool concept for a game, but people seem to complain anyway. There are genuine complaints for this game, I get it. The desert world was really strange, but it's kind of what you expect when playing a Mario game. Another classic complaint is that every new Super game takes the same themes for every world, and although that is a completely true and fair enough argument, the new series was not the first lot of games to do that. It was Super Mario Bros. 3, then Super Mario World, then Super Mario 64, and then Super Mario Odyssey kinda does it in 2017, but everyone loves that game. I do too, but you know. Granted, it would be awesome if Mario games did use different theming, and with the 4 new Super games all coming out around the same time, it definitely didn't help that argument. But I don't think people tend to think about the fact that other Mario games did the exact same thing. They just want to hate on the Wii U, which is fair enough, I guess. Now, back to World 3. World 3 is just full of really hard levels with a huge difficulty spike for like no reason. However, playing these levels while trying to catch Nabbit, a feature of this game that's really fun, it's just fun running through these levels that are supposed to be hard, but if you just sprint through, they're actually not that difficult. See, Nabbit was this new character that they created with this game, and his whole thing was that he stole power-ups from the Toad houses, and you, Mario, had to catch him. I think they should use Nabbit in newer Mario games. You can maybe switch up what he's stealing, but I think it was a really fun addition. Each world also has these levels where you have to defeat a bunch of one enemy in order to get a reward. This has been a feature in Mario games since Super Mario Bros. 3, but I think the new Super games really improve on this concept. If you're looking for the true new Super experience and you haven't played any of the other ones, of course I would suggest starting with the original DS game. That's the obvious suggestion. But if you don't have a DS, or you just don't want to start on a DS, then start on the Wii U game, but probably get the Switch version, because you probably have a Switch. So just get the Switch version. Something really fun about New Super Mario Bros. U is that the copy I own is actually the second copy I ever owned of the game. The first copy I owned was really scratched when it came out and barely worked, so I had to return it to an EB Games, and with the store credit, I got Mario Kart 8. Bargain hunt! One of the greatest Mario Kart games ever created. I love the Mario Kart sub-series. Each game has their own unique quirks to them, making them all unique and fun to play. Well, except for Super Circuit, but yeah. But Mario Kart 8 really perfected everything in the Mario Kart series, except for battle mode. But that's a story for another day. Mario Kart 8 was the first Mario Kart game to introduce amiibo to the mix, which was always a fun addition as you could make them a part of your Mii. Most of the costumes are kinda stupid, especially Pac-Man and Animal Crossing. What were you thinking, Nintendo? But the Mega Man costume actually works really well and makes it look like Mega Man is actually in Mario Kart. Anyway, my story with Mario Kart 8 is actually somewhat a small one for the Wii U release of the game. I played through Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, played all the courses, and I thought it was good. Came back to it sometimes, but it wasn't really my main Mario Kart game. That was Mario Kart Wii or Mario Kart 7, depending on, where I was. I think that this was another game that had the same problem that I had with New Super Mario Bros. U. I was just playing too much Minecraft to play Mario Kart 8, but when I did play it, I did have so much fun. It's a really good game. Later, they announced DLC for Mario Kart 8, and this is really what brought me back to the game, with the Mercedes-Benz DLC? What? And then the course DLC, of course. But I don't even have all the DLC. I only have half of it. But, I played it on the Switch re-release. My personal favorite cup from the original tracks has got to be Special Cup, which is retro tracks. It's not really the original tracks, but you know what I mean. The Special Cup has my favorite Mario Kart track ever made. Rainbow Road 64. Rainbow Road in every Mario Kart game is just a true celebration of everything Mario. But I don't know what I really like about this specific Rainbow Road, but I love it. I love the music, I love the track, and it's just a joy to go through. The other tracks in the Special Cup also get a mini shout out, especially the second track that's from Mario Kart 7. That was one of my favorite tracks from Mario Kart 7, so having it remade in Mario Kart 8 was really cool to see. I'll be talking a lot more about Mario Kart 8 in the future, which is why I'm speeding through it right now, but just know that Mario Kart 8 is truly a celebration of everything Mario. Yes, this is another game I'll be talking about more in the future. Super Mario Maker was my most hyped game for the Wii U. I loved level editing. I had modded New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. I loved newer Super Mario Bros. Wii, a mod for New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And I loved the level editing on one of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games for the DS. Super Mario Maker was everything I wanted put into a game on the Wii U. So of course, I went nuts when this game was officially announced. Seeing that you could change themes, seeing so many cool things about the game, watching every single promotional video about the game, playing demos in stores before the game actually came out, I could not wait for Super Mario Maker. I created so many worlds for this game. I played all of the Mario challenges. I had a blast playing Super Mario Maker and creating levels for Super Mario Maker. Mario Maker was another one of those games that had amiibo support. This time it was for amiibo costumes that you could play in the Super Mario Brothers theme. And when the game came out, I just spammed all of my amiibo onto the Wii U gamepad. I wanted to unlock every single costume I possibly could. I played this game to death. Super Mario Maker was everything to me in 2015. I'd play friends' levels, they'd play mine, I'd play random people's levels. My life at the time revolved around Super Mario Maker. Of course, I still played a little bit of Minecraft, but not as much as Super Mario Maker. I tend to always find a new game and then play it non-stop, which is what Super Mario Maker was at the time. My greatest creation in the game was this series of levels called Mario to the Future. A series of levels that I either made, Nintendo made, or some random person made that I put together in a 8-world style similar to the first Super Mario Bros. Game. And, it was based on Back to the Future, which was movies that I was obsessed with at the time. Mario would travel between different eras of his life, whether that be Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, or New Super Mario Bros. U. I had a lot of fun putting it together, and sometimes I still play through Mario to the Future just for the fun of it. It's not that fantastic, but it still shows that you can do pretty much anything you want with this game, except for add slopes. My imagination went wild for Super Mario Maker. I was creating level after level. I even tried recreating Nuketown from Call of Duty Black Ops. Let's just say it doesn't look like Nuketown, because I don't know how you would ever do that. But I had fun making it. Some of the levels people created for Super Mario Maker were dreadful. And let's be honest, that's still the case for Super Mario Maker 2, and was probably the case for the 3DS version. But sometimes you find a hidden gem, whether that be Mission Impossible or Donkey Kong Jr., 2 levels I played while recording that were actually really fantastic. Here are the level codes. Super Mario Maker will go down as one of the greatest games on the Wii U, but I think it's time we talk about single-handedly the worst game on the Wii U. Yeah, worse than Animal... Meme Run is one of the worst Wii U games I have ever had the displeasure of playing, and luckily, you can never download this game ever again. Firstly, the game was full of unlicensed copyright material, which is not good, which is what made the game actually be taken down. Yes, it was taken down before the eShop was closed, and it was because they used the troll face, which I didn't know was copyrighted, but that's nice to know. I wasn't ever planning on using the troll face, but whatever. Meme Run is an endless runner similar to those of like Subway Surfers or Sonic Rush, but in this case it was completely based on awful memes that existed in 2015. The soundtrack is also one of the worst things I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. The level design is actually a challenge, and with the screen constantly shaking all over the place, the game is pretty difficult. Even especially with green screened money appearing on your screen randomly, and constantly hearing, "Oh, baby, a triple!" and stupid dancing frogs in the background with their stupid rage. Somehow this game was exclusive to the Wii U, and even has a sequel on more modern platforms, but I don't think we'll be talking anymore about Meme Run or Meme Run 2. As you could see from Meme Run, indie games were pretty huge on the Wii U, and it did actually have some good ones. It mostly did have good ones. For example, Edge on the Wii U is a fantastic game. It is on other platforms, although I can't actually get the game to launch on my PC for some reason. But the Wii U release was where I got it first anyway. One day I had about $3 in my Wii U wallet and I decided to just randomly buy it. So I did. And then I had heaps of fun playing the game. The game is sort of a puzzle game cross-platformer, which is a really cool concept that I don't think is done that much. It's done in You Have 10 Seconds and a few other games, but I think it should really be done more. The art style, music, and everything else about the game just screams how unique the game is. And if you're looking for an indie game to buy on the Wii U, Edge is the one to buy. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Well, I guess we gotta stick with the games that I actually already own, with one of those being Super Mario 3D World. I have a long history with Super Mario 3D World. It all started with Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. I got Super Mario 3D Land 2 days before it came out because I pre-ordered it and I guess the store had it early or something. I don't know. Super Mario 3D Land was such a joy to play, and for some reason I just knew they were gonna make a Super Mario 3D World. Like, I just knew it in my bones. I knew that that game was gonna be real. I knew it so well that when creating a video called Fake Mario Games, it was the very first game I showed in the video before the game was actually announced. People call it out in the comments that the video shows real Mario games like Super Mario 3D World, but for God's sake, read the pinned comment! Once Super Mario 3D World came out, I had a blast with this game. This game was my go-to Wii U game playing with friends and family. Having the score system to try and get the crown in the level was so much fun. Trying out the new power-ups, such as the cap power-up, was so much fun. And just playing some of the more unique levels made this game one of the best Mario games I had ever played. The music in this game is honestly incredible. Having a big band play the music for the game was honestly Nintendo's best decision that they'd ever come up with. I love this type of music, and with it being featured in a Mario game, I probably fell in love with it even more. This game also added new things to the Mario franchise, such as Captain Toad levels. The Captain Toad levels worked so well that they even made a spin-off game based all around Captain Toad. These levels were so much fun to play through. What you had to do was collect 5 green stars in order to pass a level, but the catch was that you couldn't jump. This added something different to the Mario formula that hadn't been seen yet, which I think is something that they should add to all Mario games. Or even a second Captain Toad game. That would be fun. This game also added all 4 of the characters from Super Mario Bros. 2, being Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad. So yes, this game, you were finally not saving Princess Peach from the clutches of Bowser, but Bowser is still the main villain. It would be nice to see a Mario game where he isn't the main villain, but I feel like that's never going to happen. Each character has their own unique playstyle, which is taken from Super Mario Bros. 2, with Mario being basic and boring, Luigi being able to jump higher but being a bit slippery, Peach being able to float, and Toad being able to run fast but not jump that high. This made each character different to play with, and made you think what character you'd use to play each level. For example, you may want to float as Princess Peach in one level because there's a really long jump that you need to be able to float to be able to do, or it's level about going really fast, so Toad would be the best option. This game also has a new power-up known as the Double Cherry, a power-up that doubles your character. This can make focusing on you really difficult, but it does also make levels more chaotic and so much more fun. This game also has more returning power-ups, such as the Super Leaf from Super Mario Bros. 3, which is always a blast to have. Super Mario 3D World, I think, also truly shows off the Wii U's power, as when looking at the game, it just looks incredible for a Nintendo game. Obviously, the Xbox One and PS4 kind of looked better, but whatever. I think that the world map of World 3 really shows that off, and even the levels in World 3. And it has this magic that I only felt when I was playing Ducktales. This game takes inspiration from Super Mario Galaxy, which is one of the best Mario games ever created. So having Super Mario 3D World was a great follow-up to that kind of style of a Mario game. And with the re-release on the Switch, it would surely go down in history as one of the best Mario games ever created, and as a true celebration of all of Mario. I never actually owned Minecraft on the Wii U, but I did own it on console, and I obviously also owned the Java Edition, which was the first version of the game I owned. The first Minecraft console version was on the Xbox 360, and I actually got it on the day it came out. That was truly a fun day. It's so cool seeing how Minecraft has evolved over the years, but I think in order to appreciate the present, we need to look back. Minecraft Wii U released at a time when Microsoft actually owned Minecraft, and Microsoft weren't so friendly with their competitors. But we hadn't ever seen Minecraft on a Nintendo platform before. People begged for it on the original Wii, but I think it was the right call to make for the Wii U. This game also then went on to release on the new 3DS and the Switch, but I think the Wii U version was truly the best place for a Nintendo fan to first experience Minecraft. This version of the game that I have seems to be around 1.7 or 1.8 of the Java versions of the game, and also features a lot of stuff from the Xbox version. Even a Skyrim one, despite Skyrim not actually releasing on the Wii U. It also had a Mario World and Mario texture pack that was exclusive to this version of the game. The actual game itself though is just Minecraft, because that's what it is. It's Minecraft. It's going to be like Minecraft. But it does have way too many like info boxes and tutorial things that are really annoying when you know how to play Minecraft. You have been playing it for 12 years. You know how to play Minecraft, so stop telling me how to open my inventory. However, this is a problem with all console versions of the game, and even half the time with Java. This version of the game really only has two ways of playing, survival and creative. Somehow to this day console versions do not have hardcore mode, which is really stupid, but I guess console players have gotten used to it, because you could just make a survival world and then when you die you just delete the world, or just you don't play on it again. That's hardcore. You don't really need hardcore mode to do that. The game also has a tutorial world, which all the console versions had. These tutorial worlds were a staple of the console versions, but I personally find them so unnecessary. Back when it first released on the Xbox 360, it forced me into the tutorial world. Luckily, I already knew how to skip the tutorial, but it was really annoying that it existed anyway. I also found the crafting really annoying, but there is a way to turn that off. I think I'm just very used to the Java edition of the game for me to really care about any console version of the game anymore. But having Minecraft on a Nintendo platform was truly one of the coolest things to come out of the Wii U generation. The Year of Luigi. The Year of Luigi started in 2013 to celebrate 30 years of Luigi, for some reason. Technically, this year would be the 40th year of Luigi, just to date the video. But I doubt Nintendo would really care about that this year, as the response to the original Year of Luigi wasn't great. But feel free to tell me in the comments if for some reason they care about Luigi's 40th anniversary this year. And then, yeah, have fun, I don't know. Nintendo released several Luigi-based games this year, such as Dr. Luigi, Mario & Luigi Dream Team, and New Super Luigi U. New Super Luigi U was actually just DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U, but you could also buy it as a separate game. So I did. This game basically reimagines New Super Mario Bros. U by making the levels shorter, harder, and faster while you play Luigi with the normal Luigi controls found in most other games. This game does get pretty hard at times, but it's also a really fun game. This game also made Nabbit a playable character, but you can still chase him if you're not playing as Nabbit. If you look at the difference between the levels in these two games, you'll start to notice the differences, but I think if you were to just play Luigi U, you wouldn't really notice that much of a difference. I loved Luigi U more than I liked the original game, as I just liked playing as Luigi more than I liked playing as Mario. And a mainline Mario game that finally gave me the option to play as Luigi in the main game, and as the first player, that was amazing! There really isn't that much to talk about in this game that I didn't already mention in the segment about the original, but it does lead us to the final game that I will be talking about today. This game has a stupid title. Super Smash Bros. 4 was a game I was extremely excited for. I watched so many videos about the game, especially Yay Super Smash Bros. By Sonic Toast. Shout out to you, my friend. I was in sync with all of the leaks, all the new characters announced, and everything about the game. I was really excited for the game and the 3DS counterpart. I got the 3DS counterpart first, as it did release 2 months before the Wii U one, but the Wii U one was the one I was mainly excited for, and I played it to death. The game was also the very first game to introduce Amiibo, Nintendo's response to Skylanders and Disney Infinity. Amiibo, however, are actually still around to this day, unlike those other two. Loser! The Amiibo were used to be able to be trainable fighters that you could fight with, or fight against. As shown in an extremely awful Super Smash Bros. Ad, you could train with the Amiibo, fall on top of it, and fight against other people and their Amiibo. That was a lot of fun to do, but the main point of the game was you fighting. Super Smash Bros. Had many different modes, but looking back on it, I can't believe this is what we played. We only really had the normal mode, 8, fighter mode, and classic mode, because we don't talk about Smash Party or whatever the hell that was called. Classic mode was also done in a really strange way in the game, with you only being able to select who you're fighting by moving over to their trophy, making it not actually classic mode. My main fighters for this game were mainly Shulk and Kirby, with Shulk being the only one I mainly used for classic mode. I'm not even a Xenoblade guy. I've never really touched any of the Xenoblade games, but Shulk, my god, he was one of the best characters in the entire game. In this new classic mode, you'd often fight lots of 8 characters, because Nintendo wanted to show off that you could do that now. But did anyone actually ever use 8-player Smash? Like, it was possible, but why would you do that? At the end of Classic Mode, you of course fight Master Hand and Crazy Hand, and it was the same as every other Smash Bros. Classic Mode. Nothing's different here. This game didn't really reinvent Super Smash Bros. We had to wait till Ultimate for that to happen. Still, Smash Bros. 4 was one of the best games on the Wii U, and had some of the best new characters added to the series, like Mega Man and Little Man. But when compared to Ultimate, you start to realize that this game had a lot more flaws than you thought it did when you first played it. People at the time were still playing Melee, so I think the bulk of the Smash Bros. Community were fine, but Nintendo they made 4, so people played it, I don't know. Overall, Smash Bros. 4 was a crowning jewel in the Wii U library, but if you compare it to Ultimate, I don't know if it really holds up as well as it should. The Wii U also had some other fun games like Splatoon, Nintendo Land, Pokken Tournament, and so much more, but I think they're all games to talk about for another day. The Wii U was a fantastic console. And at the time, I thought it was fantastic, but you compare it to the Switch, and I don't know if it holds up as well as it should. But you know what? Thank you, Nintendo, for the Wii U. Thank you, Wii U.